I am Kira. I can't begin to tell you how much it hurts when your family betrays you. I hope none of you ever get to have this experience. From my early years, my parents have taught me to be a good person. They were very kind and generous people, so it was natural for me to help people out whenever they needed it. Slowly, my ability to help people became a problem for me. I was being taken advantage of, but I did nothing to remedy the situation. That was until I was hit with the biggest betrayal of my life. This story involves my husband, Archer, and son, Seth. I met my husband at work. I was a very good student in college and landed a great job after graduation. Yes, my job pays very well. No, I won't tell you how much. Archer worked at the company because he was the owner's son. Josh was his father and my ultimate boss. I was a very good worker at the company, so Josh took it upon himself to mentor me. He always said, "I can see that you are a great worker, Kira. That is one of the reasons why I offered you the job so many years back. You have seriously outlived my expectations. Thank you so much, Josh. It was all your guidance that helped me." It would be unprofessional to say this, but you remind me of my parents, you know. They died shortly before my graduation. I know that, Kira. I'm so sorry you lost your parents so early. Trust me, sometimes I wish Archer was a little bit like you. He never had his head in the business. He just likes to tell everyone how I own a company and have lots of money. I wish he would become a little more responsible, especially for the sake of Seth. I hope you can drill some sense into Archer. I'll try my best, Josh. Honestly, I was very relieved to know that you approve of our relationship. I was scared you would reject me, or worse. You are good for him, Kira. That's the issue I'm worried about. I hope he changes himself and makes himself worthy of you. Josh never had a very good relationship with his son. After dating Archer, I could see why he was so critical of his son. Archer was a charming man who loved me a lot, but he wasn't a very good person to everyone else. He cared nothing of his father and had a very casual relationship with his son, Seth. Seth looked up to his dad and considered him a friend. When I first met Archer, he was kind of a womanizer, so I kept my distance from him. He had Seth from one of his flings, and the woman left, terminated her parent rights when Seth was 5. Apparently, she wanted nothing to do with Seth or Archer. Archer used to bring Seth to the office and left him with me. Seth really loved me, and we developed a deep bond. Slowly, Archer and I started to date, and eventually we got married. Archer was really appreciative of me, he said. I am so glad I found an amazing woman like you. You know, most of the women I dated were after my money. You're so different. You spoiled me so much, even took Seth's responsibility. Why won't I, Archer? Seth is like my own son. I know I can never give kids, but I'm glad I found a son in Seth. You two have given me a great family. I can't believe you have readily taken all of Seth's expenses. Dad won't promote me, so I can't earn as much anymore. I'm so happy you help us maintain our lifestyle. Seth is getting all the things he asks for. It makes me so happy. I should have seen the warning signs long back. Archer married me only because I was willing to take full financial responsibility for Seth. Archer didn't earn much from the company since he wasn't fit to hold a high position. Whatever he earned was spent maintaining his posh lifestyle. He didn't want anyone to know that he wasn't as rich as he was. My income allowed him to put all responsibilities of Seth on me, while he used his salary on his lifestyle. I was happy taking care of Seth and Archer. Like I said, Seth and I were close, and he was like a son to me. I never considered him my stepson. Seth also adored and loved me. One day when he was 13, he said, "Kira, I really want to call you Mom. Will you be okay with it? I've been thinking about it for a while now. You're the only mom I know. My own mom abandoned me, but you didn't." What are you saying, Seth? I would be so happy to have you call me Mom. You're my son in all aspects. I have never thought of you as a stepson. You're my child. Of course, you can call me Mom. I never thought I would deserve this title, so I never asked you to call me Mom. You literally are the only one to deserve this title. In fact, I was hoping you would like to adopt me. My mom had terminated her rights long back. You can easily adopt me if you want. As much as I love dads, you are doing everything for me anyway. Oh my God, I would love to adopt you, Seth. You have no idea how long I have wanted this. I'll talk to Archer and start the process. You don't have to worry about anything. Turns out Archer already knew this plan. In fact, he was the one who suggested the adoption. I was so happy that they thought I deserved to be Seth's mom. Even on paper, I had no idea that everything was a plan to trap me. They simply wanted my money and were looking for legal ways to trap me completely. And like the stupid and loving woman I was, I just went along with it. Me, Stefan, and Archer were living like a happy family. But as Seth grew up, his demons became even more intense. I was paying for his school, his car, and his extracurricular classes. I even gave him an allowance to have fun. I didn't mind that I was spending a lot on him while his father spent all his money on himself. I never cared about these things, but one day my perfect family came crashing down around me. Josh passed away after suffering from cancer for 2 years. Surprisingly, he left the company to me because Archer was not capable of maintaining it. Seth and Archer were given $3 million each. They were pretty happy with what they got in the inheritance, but they didn't know that Josh had left a secret clause in his will. He had doubts about how Archer and Seth actually treated me, and he was right. I soon discovered that Archer was having an affair. In fact, he was cheating on me with a friend for years, and the worst thing was that Seth was supportive of the affair. The text I found between them was insane, and then I heard their conversation. Seth said, "I'm so glad you found someone worthy, Dad. Your girlfriend is such a fun woman. I really like her. You have so much fun together. She's nothing like Kira. Don't slip up, Seth. You need to keep calling her Mom. I don't want Kira to suspect anything. You have to pretend to be the perfect son for her. She might cut us off financially if she suspects anything." "I know that, Dad. It's just that it's hard for me to call a stranger Mom. She's not my mom and can't be one. I just don't want her to stop giving me money, so I keep pretending I like her. Your girlfriend is so much better." "We need to keep up this face, Seth. We can't let her doubt anything. Money is important to both of us." "Well, we have $6 million now. Why don't we just get rid of this woman? You can go marry your girlfriend instead. We don't need Kira in our life anymore." "I've been thinking about it, actually. Soon I will divorce her and marry my girlfriend. I'm just waiting for the money to be credited to my account." Hearing that absolutely crushed me. I never knew that this was what my husband and son thought about me. I couldn't hold it in anymore. I needed revenge. I walked in with my head held high and a serious expression on my face. There was no way I would let them see how much their words hurt me. Initially, they were a little surprised to see me. They were unsure if I had heard anything that they were discussing. I decided to drive their doubts away. I said, "So you are already planning to get rid of me, right? Well, I have some bad news for you guys. That $6 million you want? Well, it won't be given to you straight away." "What the hell do you mean? You will need my signature for it. Archer, you think your father was stupid enough to trust you and Seth with money? This is my father's inheritance. Me and Seth are entitled to it, to all of it. We are his blood. You are no one. Yeah, ultimately you're just my dad's wife. Why would Grandpa give you control over our inheritance? I guess you two have shown me my place today. Good to know that I am no one to you. All these years, I was just an ATM for you guys. It would make you sad to know that your grandpa has granted you an inheritance only if I think you should get one. After I give my signature to the estate manager, he'll transfer the money to you guys." No, that's not possible. Dad would never do that to us. Why don't you actually read the will properly to see what it said? I know you too saw 6 million and just started to celebrate here. I have a copy of The World ready just for you too. I gave them the copy and waited for them to read through it all. They went pale, and I could tell that they couldn't believe their eyes. In my head, I was laughing my ass off, however. I tried to maintain my composure. I did love Archer and Seth, so their betrayal was hurting me too, but I knew from experience that you shouldn't let your enemies see how they affect you. I watched silently as Archer and Seth tried to comprehend what was written in the will. When the truth finally dawned on them, they said, "I can see that Dad has put you in charge of everything. I guess it makes sense since you were so close to him. If you and Seth had even bothered to look after him, he wouldn't have done this. We don't want to hear that, Camera. Why don't you just tell us when you will put your signature on the documents? Me and Dad need the money for stuff. We can't wait forever. Now that I know what you two think of me, I'm not going to put my signature on the documents. I won't give you to a pen. You don't deserve it. You can't be serious. We deserve the money. You cannot prevent us from getting the money. This is our rights. I can do that. You do not have absolute rights over the inheritance. The will says it's very clear, however. If you still have doubts, you can talk to Josh's lawyer and find out. That will make things clear, won't it? Don't worry. We'll find out soon enough. I don't believe a word that comes out of your mouth. Once we get the money, Dad won't have to say married to you anymore, and I don't have to call a stranger Mom. Hearing that made my heart bleed from within. After years of loving Seth, this is how he saw me. I was a mere stranger to him. I stayed in a loveless marriage only because of Seth. I really did consider him my son. He betrayed me in the worst way possible. I had no words left for them. I let them go ahead with their plans. I didn't want to stay married to Archer or take care of Stephanie any longer. The next morning, I got up and went about my day. I went to the office and took over all the work that was left behind by Josh. He did give me his business and let me handle everything. I needed to make him proud, but I also hadn't forgotten what Archer and Seth were planning. So I made plans to teach them a lesson. I contacted 2 lawyers and prepared the documents I needed. Once Archer and Seth realized what they have done, I will give them these documents. It was only a matter of time. It took a week for Utter and Seth to figure out that the will was rock solid. They absolutely needed my signature to get their part of the inheritance, so they were faster changed their tune. They waited for me at home before I could return from work. Once I walked in, they scrambled to apologize to me. They said, "Kira, me, and Seth were talking about what happened, and we think that we are treating you unfairly. You're definitely one of us. We understand why Dad left you with such a huge responsibility. You're a good person." Yeah, we were being stupid. You know, with Grandpa's death and everything, emotions were high. We may have done something we regret. Oh, so you two have finally understood that you can't get 6 million without me? Good to know, guys. It doesn't take much for you to change your tune. You are misunderstanding us, Kira. We didn't mean any harm. We were being extremely immature, trying to be mean to you. We are family, and we should forgive each other. Mom, why can't you just forget it and move on? It was a small mistake. I'm sure you don't want to see your husband and son suffer, right? So I am Mom again for you now, no more stranger. It's rich of you to call me family. I distinctly remember you two telling me that I am not family and literally a stranger. Guess a stranger can become family when they have the power to control your finances. Come on, Kira, Seth is a child. He's made a mistake. Yes, I shouldn't have cheated on you, but it was a one-time thing. I ended things with her today. It will never happen again. Please forgive us. Let's move past this and start afresh. At that point, I knew it was time to reveal the decisions I made on my own. No matter what they said, I knew their behavior was fake. Archer cheated on me for years, and my son supported him blindly. They showered me with fake love so that I would support their lifestyle. The moment they thought they had lots of money, they were planning to get rid of me. It hurt like hell. I was done being taken advantage of. I said, "You know what? You're right, guys. We need to move past this and start afresh. Yes, I will be starting afresh, but without you two." "You can't be serious, Kira. We are married and a couple. Seth is our son. You simply can't abandon him. You cannot do this to us." "I already have. You two betrayed me in the worst way possible. I was heartbroken to find out that you were cheating on me. What hurts worse was the fact that Seth covered it up for you. I know I made a mistake, Mom. I didn't know any better. You need to forgive me." "Absolutely not, Seth. I'll never forgive you too. In fact, here are some things that I have already done. I have filed for divorce. The folder contains the divorce papers and an eviction notice. You have 1 month to vacate my house. I'm done being exploited." Seth and Archer looked extremely panicked when they saw the papers. Archer started to shake, while Seth had tears in his eyes. No, those emotions were not from losing me. They were just anxious that I won't give them the inheritance, and they were right. They said, "You can't divorce me, Kira. I won't allow it. What about my inheritance? What will happen to that? You need to sign it over to me. I'll never provide my signature on the inheritance papers. You two don't deserve mine or Josh's money. He knew exactly what kind of money grabbers you are, so he put that clause in his will. He was right about you too. Now that I know your true faces, I'll never put my signatures on those papers." "Mom, please don't do this. We need that money. You are going to abandon us." "That doesn't work a good job, and neither do I. How will I get by without an inheritance? You're kicking us out, but we have no place to go." Seth and Archer started to beg me to give them the inheritance, but neither of them even tried to stop me from leaving. That was the final blow for me. I gave them a piece of my mind and left them crying in their living room. I won't go into the details of what I said. It was very strongly worded and came from the bottom of my heart. Even thinking of what they had done still hurts me, but I stayed strong and didn't sway with their tears. A month passed after that, and Stefan and Archer were forced to leave the house. Archer did try to fight me in everything, from the divorce to the eviction, but with very little money in his name, he didn't have the funds to do much. Plus, his lawyers made it clear that he had no legal leg to stand on. Thankfully, I had proof of his cheating. I live in a state where cheating on a spouse stops the cheater from getting any alimony or assets, so Archer was left with nothing. Since Seth was already 18, I had no legal obligations to pay child support. Archer ultimately agreed to a mutual divorce. He knew that it was impossible for him to pay a lawyer for a long time. I mean, he did waste quite some money trying to get his inheritance without my signature. Seth begged me to be in his life like his mother. Archer's mistress is apparently a minimum wage worker. This would make life very difficult for him. I know some people will not agree with me, but I want nothing to do with either of them anymore. Seth made it clear that I was just a money machine for him. I couldn't just forgive that. It's been a whole year since my divorce. Archer and Seth couldn't have their happy family after all. The mistress ran as soon as she realized that Archer had no money. Archer and Seth now live in a small apartment. Seth was forced to get a job because his father refused to fund his life. The two now have a very sour relationship and rarely speak to each other. They did try to contact me, but I rejected both of their attempts. I have moved on with my life. I'm seeing someone much better than Archer. We're taking things slow, so wish me luck so that I can have a better life away from toxic people.